Hi, so this is class 5 with Sacred Geometry and this amazing group of women. And we, in my opinion, we had a hugely significant ending of the call number 4. And my hope was to touch back on that. And Sawa sort of launched us into that conversation because Terry was bringing up what I thought were some really profound inquiries. And so beautiful. I'm getting the goosebumps, right? Sawa started us off by talking about how she thought about that herself. And so if you wouldn't mind just saying a little bit more, Sawa, because it was so beautiful.
Okay.
And I'll remind you, it just, I was really loving how you were saying that, you know, one person's issue or question is really the true for the group. And I was thinking, that's part of the power of the group. You said the most amazing thing of no separation, right?
No boundary.
Would you mind?
Yes,
Yeah, would
I
you mind just
felt
saying a little more? So beautiful.
wow. Okay, what did I say? Because like everything is just always, coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. But anyways, yes, I was saying how everything what Terry was saying. I was really listening from my heart, not just the noise. That's why I watched over and over so that I could understand where she's coming from. Like I wanted to pick up her energy, and that was powerful, that what she was saying. And like I said, that she was questioning, but then she was answering at the end. But this same thing happens to me too. Sometimes I say words and I hear my voice because it's a frequency, right? Like it's energy. Then I answer myself. Like you output what's inside first, then you hear it in like physical body. Then your inner self like kind of know the answer, and you yourself answer yourself. That's exactly what she did, and I witnessed that, and I thought was wow, wonderful. And like everything you said, I totally agree. You said, so I wrote it down, your transcript, because like English is not my language. So, I can like refer back to, wow, this is what she said. And I like a circle, and you said like that is real application of spiritual transformation. That's what you said to her. And I said, wow, totally agree with what you said. I feel the same way. And at the end, Terry said, learn to trust. Yes. And that's exactly what I think I was like observing. That's what she's going through. Like she said, everybody have a different form of, going through probably the same energy, or the principle is the same, but they're going through a lot of stuff. But she said, go ahead. Hi.
She's in the waiting room. I want to let her in.
Go ahead.
Okay, but I also don't want to cut you off. So hopefully I'll pick it up a
Yeah.
little bit, and we'll transition, because Sawa, it was real for me too. It was so powerful. And every class, every series is more and more profound for me as well. But I mean, this group of humans, these amazing women, are just taking it to a depth, which you were just saying. And Terry, we were actually just talking about your reflections at the ends of the last class. I think they touched all of us deeply. I don't want to assume, but Sawa and I, she was saying how she watched the video again, and a couple times to really absorb what was true for her. And what was personal. And I know, Sawa, I've asked you twice now to say a little bit, but I would love to just have a little more conversation. Maybe Terry, you could launch a little bit, and then Sawa, you could, if anything resonates with what you were saying. She had some beautiful reflections, Terry, and I have been recording so that you can go back and hear.
Hi, Terry.
And I know Carol
Powerful.
said she would be a little late, and then Nancy is not going to make it this week. And then who else?
Elena?
Elena. Yeah, I don't know if she's coming this week because she was actually just popping in to make up for 2 classes. So I'm not sure what she decides. And she's moving to Portugal right now. So I doubt she will be here tonight. And then, is it Dania? There's another person who hasn't been able to come on screen, and I'm just blanking on her name, but we'll say hello to her as well. And Terry, welcome. Would you be up for sharing any kind of reflections or how you're doing after that, sort of poignant and profound ending last class?
Well, I would say that the sacred geometry is, it might be echoing really much because there's quite a bit of emptiness where I am tonight, in the space, not within myself. But
Nice.
let's see. The sacred geometry has been a huge anchoring for me because I have been studying the holographic universe. And because I realized that my personal request to the universe, no matter how hard or no matter the journey, to transition, if anybody studies it, from part 1 of the holographic universe to part 2, is a profound shift. And what's interesting is as I came onto that and learned about it and how I felt so impressed to join the sacred geometry, that everything that I would consider, very important foundational pieces in anybody's life, especially a woman's life, has gone away. And so I journey kind of in an unknown way, and the sacred geometry has been my my anchor, because anything that is as profoundly solid. I mean, you're talking about these solid shapes. If anything, oh my gosh. And I got to tell you, if anything is, I wish I had brought it to show you. If anything is as solid as this geometry shows that the universe is, no matter what we feel in our hologram, which seems so real, but is not really real. And as you learn to trust what is real, this sacred geometry is what represents that. So everything that could seem real that is not real has actually fallen away. And our living space is so important. And yet the profound work that we do in our teaching the metaphysical in our soft skills classes and in all these others, now those things continue to take off. And so I am having the opportunity to operate 3 or 4 parts of a company with no foundational pieces except the sacred geometry, and my beloved Suda, the cat, has been a birthing journey that has been incredibly powerful. So, if I choose to let it become discouraging, it could easily be. But I'm not. Once in a while, I think, oh my gosh, maybe I should just give up on what I've been trying to do for all these times. And I'm going, you can't give up. But the other day I had to go into, I was looking for a little water bottle because Suda is not drinking enough water, and she ran a fever, and I could take her to the vet, and I thought, well, that's not going to help any. So I went and found some water bottles. I had to go into Joann Fabrics, and inside of Joann Fabrics, I've never seen them before. Right by the checkout counter were these clear glass water bottles, and inside was a rose quartz crystal this high, or an amethyst. I've never seen those before.
No.
And so I had these 40% off coupons for one item. So it went from like $20 down to like $12. Oh my gosh, I need one of these. I don't know why I need one, but I need one. I looked through this whole array of about 20 water bottles, and I said, which one is supposed to come home with me? And so it's just profound. because I mean, the sacred geometry is, and the cat, Suda, is about the only solid, is the only solid piece that's operating in my life right now. And so it is profound to be part of this. It is so weird to let go of everything that you thought was real, because it's not, and how quickly it can disappear. And so I'm sorry, that's been a long story, but it's been a profound, I mean, I've been without a place. And because my work is so important, it takes time. I had to take a whole week off just to move. Well, I can't afford to take a week off to find another location or more, or to move again. There's too much going on in the work for me to take the time to do that. So I've just had to choose to stay kind of unrooted during this time, just because of so many things that are coming online with our work. And so my friends just think I'm fruit nutty crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. And I've been excited about, oh my gosh, the seed of life. That's the flower of life. That's what's on the front of Drunville's book. I can't wait to learn how to draw that, because I tried it on my own. I couldn't do it. So I appreciate everyone that's listening, and for you guys for being here. But it's I don't know. These shifts are very important, I believe, for where we are in the Earth's timeline. And I think that we have to do these shifts now. So like, there's a scripture, I'm not a real Christian, but the scripture that says, if you can't run with the footman, how are you going to keep up with the horses? And so I do believe that there are profound shifts coming. I don't know at all what they are, but we have to be able to hold our frame, just like the geometry is so silent. You have to be able to hold and be precise in what you know, because when things that seem so real that are not real, that are part of the hologram, start shifting around you, you have to be able to hold your frame of your life, in your mind, your mental frame. And the sacred geometry is the one place I know that teaches that. Because if you quit your frame, your piece doesn't work. You don't end up with your drawing. You know, so you've got to hold to the principle, or you're not going to end up with your shape.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's it. I mean, it's just like, who would have thought that it would have, I never expected this. It turned out to be just, I don't know. I should be journaling more than I am about what's happening, but it's all right. Okay.
Well, you're recorded on video. This is not the same, but sort of the same. And you are verbalizing the reason I'm here after years teaching it. It's the same for me. I see that it does that for people. And you know, I'll go to different recovery centers, and it's like, oh, it's the same thing every time. And it's not in the boring way, it's the comforting way. It's like, this is gonna stay put, you know. So I totally relate. It's my, you know, part of my purpose, is part of my frame. And I know it's been incredibly intense for you, but what Sawa and I were actually talking about, and I will leave it to you, Sawa, however much you want to repeat, but she just had some beautiful reflections, because you know,
I want to hear them.
There's this depth of existential, you know, upheaval for you, but you are experiencing it in connection with the group. And so, you know, part of why I love group dynamics is what's useful for one is really nourishing for, you know, and somehow applicable. And so Sawa articulated that, and I'm so appreciative, because I know it's been touching me. I know it's been touching Carol as well. Nancy will be back next week, and I know Dana is somewhere, and it's in her field as well, even though we haven't seen her physical presence. But, and you know what? I shouldn't assume Dana is female, right? Dana can go both ways. So I'll just put that, you know, I'll put that out there. But Sawa, would you mind saying a little bit more, like as you were, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, wow. I feel like I was like really coming, like the words are coming from my like inside, really. So I don't know if I can like really say same thing, same words.
No, just go on. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, no, yeah.
Right, but but the first I wanted to tell Terry tonight. That's what I was, thinking when I see her. First, well, I want to say thank you, and thank you. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for showing this like strong, like a taking challenge and showing this to us. Like I was telling Nadi that you are saying this is what's going on in your life right now. But again, same, I think it's in a way we are all experiencing different forms, but the same, that same thing. And that's why I can relate it and really hit my heart. And then you said you're going through such a huge shift.
Oh.
You are so brave. To me, so strong. That's what I see, like warrior, like brave soul, because okay, bring it on. I'm gonna take this challenge, right?
Right.
And so I truly believe it's really you yourself, right? Your higher soul, like you yourself is bringing this. The help with the geometry really like supporting. That's how I feel for me too. So hang in there, because you're gonna be like so like big, I don't know, different dimension. That's where you're getting, right? So that's what I felt when you were talking to us last week. And so thank you for the valuable lessons, and because it's really applied to me and to everybody, I think, in this group that he heard your story. So yeah, but again, like I was I really wanted to listen to what you said with my heart, so I wrote it down, like transcribe what you said, so I can really contemplate and what you said and what does this for me. And that's what I did for this whole week. But you put the inquiry to us, but then at the end you were answering yourself. Your inner self said what you were questioning. So I thought that was wow. I don't know if you are conscious of that, but you at the end you know exactly what you're doing, and you know exactly what you're going through. And so that's wonderful. That's so thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very profound, because it's very encouraging. There was a couple 2-3 days ago, I thought maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just quit the quest and take the easy way out. Maybe I should just stop all the work that I'm doing and how far that we've come and how many years we worked on this. And maybe I should just quit, because look at where I am, and compared to what other people say is important, or what you have to have in your life or whatever. It's just like, should I just give up? Should I quit? And it was such a discouraging moment. It's like, and I thought, no, I just can't. I've come so far. I just can't stop. And we can't give up. I can't stop the mission of what I've been working on for so many years. And so it was very, the only solid thing that we actually have, when I realize this, in somehow in our existence. And that's why I'm looking forward to studying or finding out. Don't let me misunderstanding when the crop circle thing starts, because I've got so many moving pieces in what I'm doing and to who I am responsible for now, that I don't want to miss that, because there's something important there. But I just realized that there's just such solid places we can put our feet, but it's not at all in what we see in our earthly environment, in our homes or our relationships, or even in who we think that we are. We just can't. It's like what you said, there's this higher self that is creating this. And I've learned that there is a separation between that higher self and ourselves, that when we're here in this place, we're almost like, we're not disconnected, but we're not as able to orchestrate the events as the law of attraction says. And so the solid things and the sacred geometry in the rocks and the crystals and in those things are the things that show that there is something solid that we're part of, and even our bodies and everything, we're part of it. But everything else is just super temporary. It can go away in a heartbeat. And to learn what we can count on and what's real is really important. And so I thought, no, I've got to keep going. I don't have any idea what's going to happen or how this is going to turn out, but I have to keep going. And it's kind of like when we're drawing, when we make a mistake, or sometimes it gets really scary when all of a sudden you feel like you're behind the group and you're like, wait a minute, I'm confused. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And then you're so good, Nadia, at saying, okay, let me see your picture. Let me straighten this out for you. It is very important. It's like, don't give up, don't stop. Just keep moving forward. And when we end, we've got these amazing pictures that are real. I mean, they are the reality of the structure of our lives. And so that's why this class is so symbolic, or a representation of what life really is. I mean, I can't think of anything that's more pure than this. And as far as an example. So, okay, I know I've said a lot.
No, it's great. I think Sawa's point was, and it's true for you, but it's true for all group members, is when we're speaking what's important to us. I mean, there's a resonance, and the field, the shared field that we've created, that, the geometry reinforces that field. So it can be even stronger in this kind of class where we're speaking about the field and drawing the field, which is the flower of life. I apologize. I'm so distracted. One moment ago, I could see the ocean in your background, and now it's dark, and I don't understand what just happened.
Well, we just went into sunset. So I am in my, a place where I lived for many years. I let it go. It came just available for a few hours. You were looking at the Intercoastal Waterway.
Okay.
North of Pensacola Beach Island. And now
normally there's a fade and it just went dark. Okay. As long as it's not like the Truman Show, which it is. So, okay. Well, I want to get into things. But thank you so much. I mean, so much of what you're saying, resonates for me as well. And the structure got me through massive transition. That was my journey as well. And the only thing I'll add is that if you go back and look at all 4 videos and this one as well, your energy signature is profoundly different week to week. So I would back up Sawa in that it's happening. Seems like you've chosen the cosmic 2x4 in order to do it, but that shedding and whatever you're wanting to get to, this teacher guy, he's not a teacher, he's a human, and Matt Kahn, I don't know if you know Matt Kahn. He's great. He's got a lot of teachings. He's got a lot of insight. I worked with him a long time ago. Then he went into total ego. So I dropped it. And then now he seems to be a little bit back on the pure track. But he used to say, and I might have said this already in one of the classes, we don't know what we're doing. Let's see. We don't know what we're doing. We just know we know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's like, I got to keep going. I feel like everything's falling apart, but single purpose, and I'm sticking to it. And if that means I give up, I'm actually still sticking to it. It's this whole, we're really looking at meta stuff here, and I'm so grateful because that's the kind of classes I love. So,
well, for me, if it wasn't something as dramatic as what has happened to me, just
Mhm.
as this class was beginning.
Mhm.
I would not have been forced to be willing to accept and embrace probably one of the worst situations that I've ever faced.
Oh
And
my.
so that's what you study in that in, you know, the holographic universe workshop.com. It talks so much about being out of fear and resistance. And I know I don't want to take too much time, but it's this solid piece that is somehow moved me to being not resisting or being afraid of where I am in the moment and actually accepting it. And I don't think at any other time in my life, I would have tried to go and fix it. And what it teaches is to not fix it, let it be, even though it's something you don't like and it's something that seems really weird and scary. So to not fix it and to settle into it and accept it is where that strength is coming from. And I don't know what's shifting. And it's been a really hard choice. And it's been a very deliberate choice of my thoughts. And it's becoming easier.
Yeah.
So that's the shift.
It takes practice. It's that muscle, and that is beautiful. Thank you to just be in it. That is huge. And I had the sense that Carol was going to be popping on in perfect timing, and here she is. And one thing though, I want to welcome Carol. Perfect timing. We've been sharing. We've had some profound sharings, but they'll be on the recording. And good to see you. Glad you made it.
Yes, I might still have to leave. I'm waiting to hear about an emergency session with someone. So, yeah, I haven't heard yet. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on
All right.
messages.
No problem. It's really nice that we have the recording. You know, that I will say that's been a bonus that we can do it like that. But Sawa and I leapt right into this really deep conversation, and I did not ask you, Sawa, you draw a lot. So did you draw during the week that you want to share with us before we get in?
I just did 5, say what I 4 times, but this is the last one.
Wow.
So I gave my fourth times. I said, okay, I'm satisfied a little bit, not perfect. It's okay, but out of 4, this was my favorite. So I said to myself, okay, I did a good job. So I gave myself a flower.
Oh my God.
But so this is, I just did this like 4 times, but every time it was off somewhere, but I just kept going and going. Like you said, it's a muscle. It's like a learning. But by doing it, I know it's like sinking.
Yeah.
So may I ask one question? I wanted to ask you. It's weird. So this question was popping in my head all week. So okay, I have to ask.
Love those.
It's so I was drawing, and you said last week, or maybe several times, about this geometry. You said to Terry last week. So I read that. So give us a line, guide us, and make space. When you are drawing geometry, it make space so that you basically you can access to this inner knowledge, right? That's what I took it. And so that's what I was thinking, drawing. So sacred geometry, we are actually physically drawing, and I can see it. But this is because we were in this physical realm playing, right? Like 3D here. So that's why we see what we see. Yeah. So I start thinking, because it's all about energy. So right, everything is energy. So the place is not here physically. The energy form, it's a translation of the certain energy. So that came when that energy came to this third dimension. Yeah. is this how expressing this each energy? Is that what geometry is?
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
So then I thought about Terry says when she started taking this class, like things just happen. So everything. So this is what I was thinking. So everything starts in the energy field. So when we're drawing every week, things are triggered in the unseen world, right? Like the energy field.
Yes.
So when you are actually physically experiencing anything, it's the result, right, of what generated in the energy field, right? We're looking at the results of what you trigger, right? Like what in the energy level. Okay, so I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know
no,
what.
spot on.
Do you
I'm with you.
understand?
It's
Wow.
right. Yep.
Right. So maybe that's what happened, right? Because as a result of the energy shift that happened in, so for example, Terry's life herself happens like, all this time that she said she was studying something, then that day it manifested in this world, right? The physical plane. So, okay, so what I was thinking, so by drawing, it's like doing the reverse, right? It's triggering like my energy by drawing. I'm accessing that energy at the same time, right? Is that what I'm doing, right? So that's why I like first week I said to Nadi, I feel like my awareness expanded. And so to me, geometry does that for me, to like access to this deep inner, maybe collective consciousness, you want to call it, or this field of like inner knowing, like I know. So what I'm doing is not trying to attain the new information, right? We're doing like remembering. That's what I feel. Like I'm trying to remember what I forgot. So geometry is supporting me. That's what I feel. That's what I wanted to, I guess, ask. Yes. Done. Okay, done. That's it. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
I don't know why you would apologize for
Yeah.
incredible wisdom, and I relate. If I said it in other ways, you're saying it in such a beautiful way of all the levels and what it does for you, and inspired by last week, and it's so beautiful. Sawa, thank you.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's two aspects of that, right? There's the technical, this is what's happening, right? But then there's that personal of the transformation that you're, experiencing different levels and different realms, and within and without, and the connectivity. It just feels like that's the embodiment of everything that is so good about the geometry,
Yeah.
So thank you. And Carol, it's kind of funny, but Sawa and I started talking about this kind of existential, profundity here based on Terry's explorations last week. And then Terry came on, and so I asked Sawa to kind of say things again. And then we had a lovely conversation. And so that was Sawa sort of finally coming to this place that I think she was building to since the beginning. So thank you, Sawa, for hanging in there and, coming forth with that beautiful reflection and the drawings. I love that, how, not only 4 or 5, I think you said, I just did 4. And like, oh, And on the fourth one that you gave yourself a flower, and that this all this massive download of the connectivity and the accessing the other, and then the other coming through, and that it is, and that's just mind-blowing. I think we could call it a day. That's enough for some significant reflection. So I'm so humbled. I was saying as we started, like every class, not only every class, but every series that I do, really, like the depths just get more and more amazing, because for whatever collective reason, or sort of, the deeper we go over time, it doesn't so much happen on the single classes, but as we connect and inspire each other and the group process grows. This is the most amazing group I've been in thus far, and I've tried to explain to people how profound it is, and it kind of translates, but it kind of doesn't. But all of that is to say, I'm very deeply touched and honored that you're all sharing your processes so beautifully, and witnessing and holding space. So thank you. And Terry, I'm assuming you didn't get to draw, but you've had a good share. But I want to check in with Carol. I don't want to make any assumptions about what you've been able to do. So how are you? How was your week? And then we'll get into drawing the flower of life.
It's been a kind of a challenging weekend. I don't know what I came in contact at the end of last week, but I'm having some interference with something dark. So I'm trying to release that. But I did re-listen to this class from last week, and it's right there. It feels very familiar. It felt like something I've done before. It feels like it should come easily. So it doesn't feel as challenging as the other classes, the work we did in other play we did, the fun we had in other classes. So this feels kind of very natural. I just want to practice it more. When I make the time, I'm transitioning between like two businesses I have. I'm trying to release one and just focus on the healing business. So there's a lot going on, but I'm here. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
And
it's just something to show up. I'm sorry for whatever you picked up. That's what I'm
yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. So
yeah.
I know I'm always okay no matter what, though. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do get a text that you got to go, no problem. I mean, it's great that you popped on, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss anything, and so I thought, well, I'll just come on while I'm waiting instead of waiting some other way.
Yeah, great. And then what I would add, not in a pressury kind of way, right? But Terry, part of what she was talking about, and on the last class as well, is how the geometry bridges that transition. And perhaps it seems counterintuitive, but perhaps to make time for the drawing would actually help with that transition from the business to the next. It might, kind of what Sawa was saying, like it might line up the other transition places, and then they fall a little bit easier. And
totally, yeah, I get it.
As Sawa said, like it's remembering, we know these things. I just, when I hear about the transition, it's so strange to make time to draw. But it's been, we've sort of been testimony here. So I really am touched that you made it, given everything that's going on. So, all right. And then Nancy and Dana, I feel like, is there one other person? I just feel like we're missing that. Oh, Elena was here, but she's like en route across the ocean. So she might sign up for it. Who knows? She might not, but it's so wonderful. I love her so much. And all right, we're going into the flower of life, and I say we just start there. Well, I got a tiny PowerPoint, not so tiny, pretty profound, but also we've seen some of it before. Really quickly, I need to take a 2-second bio break, and great, and then we'll get into things. I will pause the recording and we'll come right back. All right. I'm just blown away by this class. I really am. Like, I will sit and reflect on this for a while. Y'all are as deep as I've ever gone. So, I mean, as is with the woman who was able to speak with her deceased husband. I mean, this stuff will just take you as far as you want to go, and it's amazing. Okay, so we'll just wait for Terry. Flower of Life, we did the vector equilibrium, didn't we? Okay, great. So you will see a little bit about how the vector equilibrium is in the shape. We're going to go from flower, and I talked last time about how the Flower of Life is the spheres, right? That's the packed spheres of the shape. And then you're going to see the bones. We're going to look at the tetrahedral structure, right? How there's all these tetrahedrons that are inside the flower. I don't think I can get down. I have a 64 star tetrahedron that like hangs off my ceiling, but it takes a minute to get it down. I should have brought it down. Anyway, all right, where'd she go? Let's go for it. Let me pull this up, and then we can tell when we get here. So we are recording. Any other tidbits that I forgot to mention? Yeah. My drawing experience over the week did involve crop circles, but I don't want to get into it now, but it's been pretty profound. Terry, let's go already. I'm going to get into it. Here we go. So perfect timing. It's just what's happening. So screen share, perfect timing these days, right? That's what it's all about. Okay. So Flower of Life, beautiful, beautiful, extraordinary, shows up the same way every time, right? So we're going to go into it from the Seed of Life, hexagonal pattern. And this is a fractalizing pattern, right? So it can just repeat infinitely. So we're going to stick to the pattern, but you could also just fill the page with these things. That's a very fun practice, is to just repeat and repeat and repeat. It's very meditative, but we're going to try to stick to the form today. And you remember how this is a symbol everywhere. Sacred sites, they will have this pattern. And so it's telling us some things. That's part of that collective sacredness. And then you remember the biology of the sacredness as well, where we are the 64, right? That's the seed. That actually 64 is the last iteration before that huge cytoblast into, the development. So 64, we're going to look at this. So there's 64 spheres, and you remember the progression, right? We can do the Flower of Life. Oh man, that trips me out when I try to move my little images. So Seed of Life and the Flower of Life can be called, a lot of different shapes can be called the Flower of Life, meaning a lot of different circle patterns, right? It's going to be the same based in the seed, but you've got this version, which is the Flower of Life, although I don't consider that the Flower of Life ever. This version is the Flower of Life, and this is the seed with one ring of circles around it. And Terry mentioned that she tried to do it. This is harder than it looks. Your brain goes, it should just be a couple of circles. No. So it's good that we're doing it together. And usually we see the Flower of Life. We talked about this. It's the zona pellucida. It's enclosed. It contains and cuts off some of the information. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to definitely draw this one. And then I will show you, depending on what you are up for, I will show you how to do this one, as well as how to do the fully expressed one, right? So we'll have the stages. You'll be able to choose if you want to choose sort of the smaller tonight and then take on all of the rings at your own pace, or if you're just feeling ready and you want to go for it, you'll have all the options. So this is the egg of life, right? This is when we see the spheres in their 3 dimensions, right? And it's packed similarly, but you see the 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, the different spheres on either side. And you typically see this, but you don't see the egg of life too often. It's really just the seed and the flower and the tree of life, right? There's also the tree. It's all related. So we've got 64 spheres, right? And this is our spherical pack of the flower. But then we've got the bones, right? You can see the petals here. They're going to make tetrahedrons. You can find the triangles in there. And so the bones look like this, right? This is the 64 star tetrahedron. This is the 2D version We're going to draw this, I think, in a week or two. And then last week, I showed you the 3D version, right? That green, beautiful geometry. So this is sort of our best attempt to understand this massively complex 3D geometry. But, you know, point being, there are 8 star tetrahedrons in here, right? So this kind of highlights the center one. And if you remember, this is the shape where if you peel off all the star tetrahedrons, you get the vector equilibrium in the center, right? This is all related. This is where we were the other week. We're just coming back to it from a different angle. This is one of the pieces. I got obsessed with this piece. I just had to do it all the time. And this was part of an art show that I did in Portland. And this is 2 64s inverted on each other and then highlighting the star tetrahedron in the center. And this, I'm sure that this phase of my drawing was really activating. It was so satisfying to my linear self. So this element is within the flower, which is, you know, the more flowing round circle a piece. And so we're going to look for a hot second at the number 64, because it is profound when you start to put this geometry together with some of our cosmologies, right? So you have 64 hex. This is just a nice image of the signs, how they match up with the hexagrams of the Chinese, the I Ching, and then the 64 hexagrams. There are, sorry, I have this slide in the wrong way. It's important, but I want to go right for this. There are 64 hexagrams in the I Ching. There are 64 codons in our DNA structure. This is a fundamental number in our reality, right? Sawa's talking a lot about, you know, the geometry. We all have been talking about the fundamental structure. It's not going to get more basic than our DNA, right? And then the I Ching is this, you know, reflection, this cosmology of the building blocks that create our entire reality, right? So if you start to go on the 64 tip, there's all of these references. They're throughout all of, you know, all of our ancient texts, all of our wisdom traditions, Hinduism, Mayan traditions, you know, Christianity, right? It's all it's woven in everywhere. Computer bits, different elements in the Bible, Braille characters. I mean, on and on, to the point where we just go, okay, there's something going on here, right? It's like the phi. It's like all the other geometries. The implication is for a larger design. These numbers are not coincidental. They're inspiring to go, oh, there's more. There's a lot more. So when you just drill down to these 2 things, if you just sleep on this reality that our codons in our DNA and the I Ching, the fundamental combinations of everything that determines our reality, our emotional program, our physical structure, our psychology, access and lack of access to our metaphysical capacities, right? It's all in this program. And you've got a geometry that, lo and behold, relates to both that and this, you know, incredible cosmology. I don't know if you've studied the I Ching, but it is, I barely know a thumbnail's worth, and it's profound. So you have these building blocks, and you have the Mayan runes, which correlate and correspond with the 64, with the hexagrams, and then you know, by proxy the I Ching. And remember, sorry, the DNA. You remember this? We saw this when you take off. Sorry. Can you still hear me if I mute the video? Okay, so you take off those. You've got 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 8 tetrahedrons, and there's the vector equilibrium in the center, also called the cube octahedron. And when we drew it, even though we breezed right past it, we know that that is the fundamental shape of free energy, right? That point of singularity, right? So we've got the flower of life. We've got the 64 star tetrahedron, the bones. We've got the vector equilibrium, which is kind of the fundamental point of stillness of all things, right? So we're drawing the flower and this 2D pattern of circles, but the goal and the purpose of all of this is to remind us. Someone was saying that, Sawa, the remembering, right? Somewhere we have our 5% of our waking reality governed by a conscious mind. Somewhere all of this is tapping into that fundamental 95%, right? It's reminding our cellular structure of that still point. It's reminding us of our energy systems, right? Our subconscious, our DNA, even though we are registering such a little percent, a larger part of us is tuning in and turning on when we're drawing this, right? I think I've got a couple of really cool images in here just to like highlight how you can play with this and how you can draw it. And a lot of these are graphic designs, so just let go of that, what's the word? Precision. But here's how the pattern can just go on and on infinitely, and how obviously that is another level of dimensionality to the sphere. But this is one of my favorite artists. Her name is Crystal Eyes, and just go on Pinterest, right? Just open up an account, go on the, Google, and just image flower of life, and just the more you have them around you, the more you're activating this stuff, right? The more your subconscious is, when you're in this massive transition, some part of your brain is going, oh, that's right, there's a structure that is predictable here. I can relax a little bit. My my central nervous system could take a breath and breathe and anchor into the geometry, right? Because man, we're on alert, especially in transition. I'm on my own alert. I've got my own going on in this life. So again, Chris, just these beautiful patterns anchored in the flower of life with the petals, whether it's highlighting the petals or the larger spheres or any which way, just opening up your creativity. When we draw the structure, there's the flow, there's the patterning beyond that. I mean, it's infinite, right? There's so many ways we could be focusing. There's so much we could be doing. And we're just going to get into it, right? So thoughts, questions, reflections. I mean, this stuff is amazing. That's like 5 minutes of, we could go into unified physics and have an entire series on that based on the flower of life. So let's take a nice deep breath after that. That's a bunch of left brain stuff. Let's just shift together. Just grounding into a moment of gratitude for being able to take the time right now, that we've given ourselves the time for this expansion. Just connecting with your body, remembering it's a whole body, whole person experience. And feeling into that possibility that we have been guided here, and that our higher selves are guiding us to this remembering, to this process, and that there is no separation. Unless you set an alarm to remind you to let your cat in. So deepest blessings, deep breaths, and we will proceed into the drawing from a little bit more of a grounded place. It's amazing to be able to do this. It really is. So, and that was my alarm to make sure my cat is in. So, ready? Are we ready to go for this? Okay. 1 inch radius on your compass, which is going to give us 2-inch circles. Right? So I would suggest measuring to the center of the page, because it's easy to go off on this one. Measuring to the center of the page, giving yourself, I would give yourself your first circle and then darken in the center, just so we really anchor in the center of ourselves. And then draw your seed around that center. We will build on the meditative practice of staying connected to the center as we draw, which is a whole other experience. And go let my cat in while you're doing that. I'm coming. Okay. Hopefully that was perfect timing. Everybody got their seed? Great. Going with the perfect timing. Okay. So let me show you. Oh goodness, where did it go? Oh, because I'm in screen share. There it is. Okay. So let me show you. We're not going to draw. We are going to draw, but I'm going to show you what I meant by that we're going to have options, right? So I'll just go over all of the slides and then we'll go back and start here. All right, so we're going to start with the seed. Carol, did you catch that part that I'm going to show all the options? I'll go through a couple of slides. Okay, great. All right. So what we're talking about are building rings of circles around the seed. We're just going to build rings, and ultimately it's 4 rings, right? But we're just going to start with the first one. I'm going to really encourage precision. And let me jump out of this and do that practice where you do your circle, you lift up, change your grip, put the compass down precisely, go back up, because you can get into a rhythm. If you do the eyeball, it will start to show up in the second round. You will start to see the gaps, right? And then as it expands out, it becomes very big. The inconsistencies only expand, right? So give yourself the gift of as close as we can. So as we're going around in rings, trying that tip. And then there was something else I was gonna say. No, all right. So here's the seed. And then we're going to build around, right? You can start anywhere, but I always start on the left and go clockwise, right? So this will be the first ring. This in and of itself is called the flower of life. You can stop here, right? Then one option is to open the compass to the width of the outermost hexagonal points, right? And then give yourself the circle, right? 2 circles, and that creates that zona pellucida. That's another version of the flower of life, right? So this is just like a quickie. You're like, I need a flower of life. Here we go. Very doable. Here's the next step, right? If you don't want to do that, if you want to keep going, then this is 3 rings, right? So we have the seed in there. You've got your center circle that's darkened in. You've got the second round of circles. And then this is the 3rd round of circles, right? Now, you can stop here as well. We will be able to stop at any point, right? But here's 3 rings. And then what did I do? This is 4 rings, all right? This is what we're going for today, or not. Any phase that you want to stop and that you feel comfortable with, that's what we're doing. This is the full expression. Now, on that first or second or this expression, all we're going to do is darken in, not dark, but just enough to find your way, right? What we're going to use are these axis, right? The vertical 3 axis, and then on the left and right where the circles are touching, they are independent circles, because that's going to show you where to draw that circle, right? So we could see it easily before, but this will be our guide. And then once you've got this, and this is the weird part, I want to emotionally prepare everybody, you're going to erase everything outside that circle. I know, it's just like tragic when you get to that point. And then we put another circle around. So this is similar to the other one. You can recognize that pattern of the zona pellucida. And then now we're going to go and erase these little bits, which I think I did this, right? It looks like here in between, you've got a boundary of petals, and there's these little bits remaining, and you just erase them, and that gives you the full, clean flower of life, right? So the difference between this one is that you've got all of the petals complete, right? If you do that ring around the 3rd, 1, 2, 3, the 3rd ring, you will simply have some open petals, but it's still the flower. If you do it around the second ring, you can see you'll have very few, there's a lot of petals that aren't complete. So that's, does that make sense? We're adding detail as we go further, but you're fine in whatever your psychic space is to stop at any point, and it will still be the flower of life, right? Okay, so everybody's got their seeds. So you could pick any of the divots, right? And just start and put your pencil down, or sorry, your compass point down. And the thing is, just with the seed, right? I always recommend going clockwise, one after the next, right? Where your compass intersects with the pre-existing circle, that's where your compass goes again and again. Get in that habit of going around the same way. If you jump around, you will lose your place, and it is really hard to accomplish the flower of life. So going in one direction consistently, that's tip number one. Yeah, Terry, how's it going?
Well, okay, so we do the one circle in the middle.
Oh, sorry, it's me. Okay.
Okay, so
there you are.
Okay, so I do the one circle in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going and I'm putting the point of the compass.
Start here.
We are doing it. Okay. I started doing that and then I erased it. Okay.
You had it, right? I just choose the one to the left. It's just my habit. Technically, you could choose any of them, right? It's just like the seed. You could do it anywhere. But I start here because it helps me to remember to go clockwise, right? To just keep going that same direction. And honestly, that's part of the meditation, is that circular, it's like mandala work, where you're just moving again and around in the circle. And it really is bringing the hemispheres of your brain online. Like that is a level of alignment that is precise, right? You're really tuning into some detail there. So just finding that pattern, that rhythm of the compass going down right where the intersection of the circle that you've just made with the previous circle, right? It's tempting to jump to the divots, right? Stay with the circle you just made. That practice will pay off as we are on the fourth ring and things get really confusing, right? Second tip, I'll let you do that. I'm going right behind the camera. Oh, it's already okay. Second tip that will sound strange. Don't stop and look at what you're doing. Because it will be uneven until you complete all 6 sides, and it will throw you off to look at it. So you might look at it and you can come out and look at it. We can look at it together if you lose your way. What I will say is that sadly, this is the geometry that takes the biggest hit from trying to do it online, right? Because sometimes you can get off and only when I'm walking around is I can piece it together as to where something you need another circle. It's not impossible, but if you feel like you're getting off, just let me know and we'll look at it. Lots of times we can fix it or find our way, I should say. But I have had one occasion or one or two that I couldn't find our way, but you can still get it. It's amazing. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's just like the others. It's really cool in and of itself. Right. And then very much like the seed, if you get finished with that round, this is a great meditation point, right? To just pause and breathe and feel and notice what you notice, right? And do that inventory and, add that breath work and meditation. And then if you feel solid in that space and you want to go ahead, right? It's the same process. just choose any point to the left. I just choose to the left. Honestly, choose any point, any divot, because you will start and stop there. And start the next round. It's the same thing. I'm assuming that you two aren't stopping at this phase. So we'll go on to the third ring. Terry, how are you? Is it coming along? Like, are you following the flow?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right. So it looks like you've got it. So, all right. So then we'll go here. This is going to be the third ring. So honestly, you just start the next round, keep going, and I'll just talk, keep you company. I love it that, when you draw online or when you're taking a class online, you can just pause, and pick up, or mute and mute me. So it still works. It works a lot to do this online, and I'm so grateful because most of my classes, I teach at the community college here, and I teach a couple of single classes, but most of the classes are online. So strange to say thank you to the pandemic, but a lot of things did open up because of it.
Let me think. Am I unmuted? What am I? Am I muted?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. Have you studied? See, what you're seeing in between the petals are little like triangles, sort of. They're a little bit curved, but
Yep.
they're little like triangles.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard that we gather as humans in these little vibrational pyramids of associations?
Cool.
And in between, okay, see what we're calling the petals.
Uh-huh.
What we're calling the petals.
You're talking about this little triangle, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the petals are actually the communication channels that we communicate with other triangles. That's actually what this is, actually. And how the universe, now I've lost my spot on my drawing, but but let's see, where was I studying that? That's how the structure of the association of like souls or spirits, or not just in humans, but other situations too, that's how we're drawn into groups that kind of become like pyramids of people that are associated in vibrationally kind of the same or in alignments, right? But the different pyramids, which are associations, groups of folks, communicate, but those are open channels that your communication lines are between the different sectors of people or not situations, the different groups of people that we tend, like our group is kind of like, we can have these common conversations because we're vibrating at resonances that align with one another. But that's what I was learning.
Yeah, no, I haven't studied the specifics of that, but this is, between the 64 or the flower, whichever way you choose, this is the tessellation of space time, right? This is how, this is the geometry of the field, and the quantum field. And so that makes a lot of sense that, that this is how we are, this is how information is transmitted, right? Through geometry. And I love that.
You can't go through, I mean, you can't communicate through the group. I mean, the group within its own pyramid or association like that is in alignment, and they can communicate, and then they're communicating with other groups through those spaces that are created because when the tips of the triangles are there, there's a little curve there, and the tips are creating these spaces. So
it's just so cool, right? And this is only 2D, right? That's going to be a tesseract in 3D. Not, sorry, a tesseract, I mean a tetrahedron. Yeah. I'll go grab one of my pieces off the wall. Just literally off the wall. Yeah, I mean, I've just found so much comfort, just what we've been talking about for a long, long time. But the way that I did my geometry started hurting my fingers. So I did to stop. But that might be a lame excuse for having stopped. I could have done it in some other way. So let's see, how is it? Do we have so it looks like you might be complete with the 3 rings. And then, okay. And Terry, you're working on 3?
I think I am.
Okay.
Ah.
All right, great. So Sawa, if you want to go ahead, it's the same thing, only the last ring. Yeah, 4th ring. How does it, let me pop out. How does it look? Do you want to hold it up? We'll see. Let me spotlight. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. What do you think?
Look at how precise.
Wow. What do you think? Oh, you're muted.
I
Wow.
love it. I
know.
love circle. Feels so good when it touches to the next line,
Yeah.
like perfectly.
Yeah.
Feels so good.
I
But
know, it's so satisfying, right?
yes, but I'm starting
Beautiful.
to see a little bit off. So I don't know if next circle, but I'm gonna try and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be a little bit off. It's gonna happen. And one of the things, and this is my theory, Terry, are you gonna show us, or what do you?
Well, I was curious, how far along am I? Am I needing to do a whole nother set of circles?
Okay, stop your moving there. Just hold steady. Yeah, you're just go on to the next round. You got it. That's perfect. Looks perfect.
Although it doesn't, there is some, it's not perfect. But there is some variation where the points don't exactly match, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
The likelihood of them being precise is like 0. I mean, like we can get close, but we're not graphic design, and it's really the first one we've tried to do. So I have a specific theory though about this geometry, and that is, 1 second, I just got this huge wave of Carol. Carol, we're with you. I hope that you are doing well. I feel you even though you're off screen. Oh, great. Wait, let me see. I didn't know that you were able to drop. Wait, hang on a second. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, yeah. Do you want to unmute? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a little slow because my compass kept moving, so I switched to a different compass.
Okay, great. Yeah. So keep going. Spot on. I love it. It's nice because it's circles, right? It's circles. We just keep doing circles. And part of why we darken in that center point is to, stay on target, but it's really easy to get off target. And the cool thing is you can still get the shape, right? You might not get the shape with all 4 rings, but you can still get a flower, because you can see all of the different iterations. So it's satisfying on that level, but we're doing the flower of life on the 5th class for a reason. It's not easy. And your brain goes like, this is just a bunch of circles. It's so easy to get off track. And so you're actually doing really, really significant skills, even though your brain goes, I'm just making circles. So here's my theory. When you finish the 4th round, what you will see inevitably, I've not had a class where this doesn't happen. We can bisect the shape in half, right? So you've got 2 different sides. One side will be organized. The other side will be disorganized. And it reflects the hemispheres of our brain. One side is likely the left side, which is overdeveloped in our world. The other side is likely the right side. Isn't that amazing? Are you seeing it, Sawa?
Yes.
Yes. I'm blown away by that every time. Yeah. That's so cool. That is just, talk about accessing the other aspects, it's amazing. This was part of, I think I mentioned that woman who took the class to rehabilitate from the TBI. This one was so powerful for her because she could see, we can't map it. We don't know which part of the brain, but she could see which parts were off. Like she had different physical experiences as she was drawing it. And that sort of like what we would consider realignment was really powerful for her. She was amazingly insightful. She went to the depths that you all go to. It was really wonderful. She just added such a value to the class. I mean, if you're coming in to draw sacred geometry to repattern your neural pathways after a traumatic brain injury, you're going to be an amazing human. You know? So, all right. Sawa, are you done? You're not done, are you? You done with all the fourth ring? Are
Who,
you?
me?
Yeah, no, Sawa, it looks like you're fit. No, all right, still going. Okay. Yeah. And you just feel all the bigness, all of the expansion happening. I'll take a fun moment. I haven't done this across the whole class because part of my brain is like, maybe they're watching, maybe they're not. But Nancy and Dana, if you're watching, I'm sure you're doing awesome. And I think it's wonderful that you got the discipline and that you're showing up and giving yourselves these shapes in this process. Yeah, I don't know why I don't do that more often, because if they're watching, they'll see that. And if they're not watching, it's great. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to pause in the middle of classes and say hi to anybody who's not online, but has signed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I purchase so many classes and never get to them. It just drives me nuts.
What's happening with the crop circle situation?
I am sorry to say that class started last week and it is over full, so we can't do any more. So sorry.
I thought you were gonna ask him how much it was gonna cost, and then you would let me know. Oh, okay.
I think that was a long time ago, and that was before all of your everything's all the week, and I probably was presumptuous and just didn't follow up with you, and the class might have filled quickly. So
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get back with me on how to sign up and what the cost would be. Okay.
Perhaps that was divinely orchestrated. Perhaps I can offer an apology for dropping that ball, and also perhaps I will be doing it again and it will work for you at that time. But that is my wondering is if you would have been able to add another class in your life.
Yeah, it was pretty important for me to take it right now.
Okay, well, here's what I can offer. I'm happy to do a private drop-in with you and talk about them. I'm happy to do that.
Check with your spirit.
Oh no, I did when you mentioned it earlier, and I was like, oh God, that's not going to be able to happen. I said, yep, I can do it that way. So if you want to do any kind of donation-based session, I love talking about it. I'm happy to do that. And
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Great.
Yeah, because what we had said 3 times ago, you check, find out how much it would be since I had paid for all the others, and then I could join the class. So
For all the others? Sorry, you lost me.
yeah, since I did the Shri and this one too, you said you would find out what it is, talk with your group, and then, you know, get back with me on that. So that's okay.
Okay.
Something's not
Because
right.
you had done the other classes. That's how you're
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, that's what you were gonna do.
Gotcha. Right, I'm going to trust the timing on this, and I'm offering another session so we can follow up and at your leisure. The other thing I will say is that at this point, we do have, like, she came up with a requirement because so many people do recordings. You have to be on camera and participate for at least 6 of the 8 classes. So that would also have contributed to things, I'm sure. So we'll make that happen. How are the circles going?
I don't know. It seems like this one is getting off. Like right up in here. Whoops, right over there. It's
Okay.
like,
So hold it up and let me just look at it for a minute. Can you pull it back a little bit? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yes, this is the point where just keep going. You're right. You do have the triangle starting up there, but that's what's going to happen. And just keep going. What I usually do is I choose the midpoint on the line, right? And then I repair from that. But just you are on target. Just keep going and don't stop.
Okay.
And I think you've either got a half or a full circle. We'll keep going and we'll pause when we're at another point. Go until you get back to the top again.
I did.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Although I think, try.
Hang on, let me spotlight
I
you.
I have to look at the bit there.
Yeah, keep going. Yep.
All right.
Perfect. Sawa, how's it going? I see you looking back and taking it all in. How's it look? Can we spot? Okay. And will you come off mute so I can just hear how you're doing? Yeah. Okay, great. All right, pull it back a little bit. All right. So let me ask you, what are you tilting your head about? What was that? What was that gesture that made it look like you're sort of half happy with it?
So you said about some parts is gonna be off than others. I thought I saw somewhere. Where was that? I can't.
Well, hold it. If you want to hold it back, I can, or do you see it? Did you find it?
No, I didn't. Can you see?
Yeah, well, hemispheres of your brain might be aligned. Okay, don't move. Yours is, I believe, hang on one second. I believe yours is right on the vertical. And that the side to your left patterns differently. It looks a little darker. It might not be inconsistency, but a little bit darker, and your right side is a lighter. And I don't know if it's the lighting, if it's just the lighting. Tilt it. Yeah, and then tilt it the diagonal. Pull your right hand back towards your face. A little bit more. Yeah, I think the right side of your drawing is just a little bit darker. Either that or it's the top diagonal. No, I think it's the right side. Do you see that at all? That's the only inconsistency I see. Do you see it?
Yes.
Like one side's just a little bit darker, right? It might not be jumbly. A little bit. Yeah. I've just always experienced that there's a split. I don't know. Sometimes it's on the vertical, sometimes it's on the horizontal, but fascinating, right? What do you think? How do you feel about it?
I feel good.
Okay. All right. Looks pretty tight there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
No, the circle. Something about the circle, like you said.
So satisfying. And you know, we're doing the flower of life, but you could just fill the page, right? You just go in circles on circles on circles. So, okay, so I'm going to show you the 3 circles that you'll find, and then I'll come back and I'll look at Terry and Carol's, and we'll do that step next. All right, so here, what you want to do is you can either darken them in or you can just eyeball it, right? I say darken them in so that you can find the inner form, right? Because your circle, your larger circle is, you're going to put your compass in the center like this, and then you're going to open it out here. And Carol and Terry, I'm not going anywhere, so don't worry, you don't have to get this down. Opening the pencil to this width, right? That's the way that I just demarcate the width, right? Is it's 3 circle lengths on the vertical and both the diagonals, right? So that's the way to find it. And then you draw your circle around that, and we'll go from there. All right, so let me come out though. Carol and Terry, where are you guys at?
I'm kind
Carol,
of
okay.
left
So,
left side.
right. Okay, so Carol, let me see where, all right, let me see.
Mine got way off, and I'm not sure what I did, because I can't listen and draw at the same time,
No,
apparently.
it's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now hang on, because we
Stuff
can
off
still
right
get it.
in- right in
Yep, that side. Yep. So, okay, so the way we're gonna get this,
Uh-huh.
so bear with me here. Okay, hold it up a little higher. Okay, so now what I need you to do is hold the pad of paper underneath with one hand so that your finger can find the circle that I need.
Okay.
Okay, so
Right over here somewhere.
yeah, no, that's fine. We're gonna leave that alone. All right, so okay, so using your fingers, starting at the top right. Yes, okay. Now, no, on the circle, you're right. Go up a little bit higher to that main. Yeah, there you go. Now, I just have to keep track of which one we're using. So then we're going to use the diagonal axis, right? We're going to use those petals that come down in the center, right? So yes, okay. Okay, now perfect. Stay there, don't move. Now, come on the diagonal down one more circle. Yes, nope, you passed by it. One more dot up towards you, one more center point. Nope, 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 now to the left. Okay, okay. Okay, diagonally up one petal. Yes, yes, you're right, up to the corner of the page, diagonally. Yes, okay, you keep skipping it. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, there. Okay, now up one petal diagonally towards your face. Other way. Yeah, okay, now that circle is going to be your center circle. So keeping your finger there, go ahead and pop down on the page and darken that darken that in. And I mean darken in the center point just so that we can reference it. You don't have to do the whole circle, or you can if you did, no problem.
wow, that doesn't even look like this, like the center from.
It's okay. It's not the center. We're shifting because the bottom is off, right? All right. Hopefully we got the right circle there.
No way. Did I get the right circle?
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think it's the circle next to it that we want. Oh no, you're right. You darken in the center. Perfect. Okay, now you're going to use that as your center circle. Okay. All right. And so what you're going to go for here is using that as your center circle, right? You're going to get this, right? And that's going to be your center. And then you're going to stack going all around that circle. There will be 6 circles, 6 separate circles. They don't overlap at all. You have this design if you start with that center circle. How's that sounding?
Good.
Okay. I'll leave it up. Terry, how are you doing? Are you on this step too?
Well, it's kind of like getting off.
Hang on, let's look.
Let me-
Terrell, are you good if I move from there real quick?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Terry, let me see.
Let me see. It's getting. Let me back it up. It's getting off. Just
Yep.
maybe I've done. Hang on.
Yeah, both hemispheres of the brain right there. So it's you are on. You are totally on. You're done with your 4 rings, and let's start with that center, the one that you darkened in, and you're on the same step. Yep, you're on the same step. We can kind of ditch the outer rings at this point because you could keep going on the top right, but you've got pretty much what you need, and I want us to be, you remember how I said we erase the whole outside anyway?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Okay.
So then you've got your center circle just like Carol, and so you're going to get these. And then Sawa, did you draw your line, or did you draw the circle? Yep. Okay. And then did you erase? Oh, wait, hang on. Let me see.
You're talking to me or who?
Sawa.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, you go for it. Try again. I'll see where you're at. We'll work it out.
So, oh,
Yes, the light.
And then you draw a circle, right?
Here, I'll show you. Great. I got, yes, exactly. The
Oh,
outside.
I see.
ring. Yep.
Mhm.
And then you
Then
should have a circle. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yep. So, Sawa, this is what you are drawing right now, is that circle.
Okay.
Okay. Super.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then once you've got that, it's that weirdo thing of erasing everything outside of the circle. We've devoted all of this time to the circles and now they go away. It's too much to bear. It's so weird. I'll always be like, we're going to erase. You've invested. And so it always feels a little strange to erase our investments. But that's going back to what Terry was talking about, the impermanence of everything, right? All right, Carol, is that working out? You've got all 6 additional circles?
I'm still trying to line them up. The circles are not quite accurate, so.
So everything outside that circle we erase?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just sure I was erasing the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Carol, my guess is it's looking all right, that it's lining up, but that it's the first one. It's you're wishing they were lined up.
I'm okay.
All right, great.
I'm accepting that it's not going to be perfect.
As we draw more times, how do we get more accurate so that the points all line up and we don't get those little triangles where everything's meeting? How is it that we do that?
Well, that was really fun, Terry, because much like the end of last week, you answered the question as you asked the question. You answered the question as you asked the question. You said, as we draw more times, how do we get precise? And it's as you draw more times. That's all it is.
What are we watching for as we draw those times? What is it that we begin to notice or change? That, I mean, there can be a hint toward what you're watching for as you do it more times.
Yes, you're answering every question. It's true. I think in parts, when you're doing it at your own pace and don't have a class that you're going along with, that helps, because you can be more precise. And just, doing it a couple times, it'll become more familiar. You know how the other shapes, like now the seed of life, is just like you don't even think about it. It's practice. It's doing it at your own pace. It's breathing. Probably not many of us are breathing right now. so, there's a lot of different factors, and it'll just become more familiar. Carol, how's it going? I love that you're able to still be here and drawing, and I love that we look at your empty chair.
I have to leave in 5 minutes, but.
Okay, perfect. Now you're just at that stage of opening the compass to the width, right? Okay, awesome. See, that I actually have come to appreciate the flower, because even if you get off on a side or you get lost a little bit, you can still just adjust and find that ring of 6. And the only thing it will influence is your outer petals and how many outer petals you have. All right, so Sawa, you've erased everything. Right, okay, so then you want to draw, you want to do that. Here's what you probably have, yeah? Okay, so then just opening the compass a tiny bit, any width is fine. I do it a little less than a centimeter, and I just give that second ring so that it creates that boundary, right? And then Terry and Carol, I'm thinking you're both on the erasing the outside circle stage. Okay, right. It's nice because you get a little preface, right? You get a glimpse as I'm explaining to Sawa, but at the same time, it is hard to listen, and do the drawing and take it all in. It's really a lot. And, I really commend all of you on just jumping in and doing it.
Find your talking very comforting.
Oh,
Even
great.
when I'm drawing and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Actually, for me, I like it because I'm not doing it by myself.
Yeah, I know.
You're
It's nice.
talking and it's kind of like you're lullabying because of your voice, you're lullabying us through it. Like no matter what you do, it's going to be okay. We're not the only ones that are doing it. So actually, I find doing it in a group, I hear what you're saying in some ways, but in some ways I've tuned you out while I'm just kind of flowing. I don't know. I like that we're doing it together and it's not quiet because I probably would get distracted if it was quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's so much with the process that I never run out of things to say. So it works. But some people are challenged with it. Some people it's easier for, and there's pluses and minuses to everything. But at the end of the day, you get the geometry and it really does. There is a certain discipline that when you get on a call with other people, otherwise, doing it yourself, although Sawa's rocking it for all of us. So that's it, but the discipline comes in the activation and what you feel when you're drawing, right? That's the motivation is like, oh, I want to get back to that. There have been a couple of times in my life where I have to say I was slightly irresponsible and all I wanted to do was draw. And I dropped off of a couple of things that I probably shouldn't have dropped off of. But I was happy, and then those things got taken care of, so it worked out. All right, and let me see.
I have to disappear.
Okay, let's okay, hang on, let me spotlight. Woo! There it is, right? And then just for the future, Carol, so beautiful. Just for your next step, what you're gonna do is you're gonna erase the bits. Right? If you just want to maybe erase one segment to remind yourself, oh, we've got the video, but you're just going to erase these bits and then that'll give you the boundary.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
So good to see you. Maybe see you Tuesday and otherwise see you next week.
All right.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So then Sawa, you saw that because that's the stage that you're at, right? Is erasing these little bits between the petals and the boundary. Right? Oh, you guys have done amazing. Terry, how are you? Do you have the?
Yeah, here.
And let me spotlight you.
Yeah, where is
Okay.
it? There we go. So I'm just doing the erasing kind of like the outside, like you just told her to do.
Beautiful.
Let me ask real quickly, how many, because of the class that we're getting ready to do, how limited is your sacred geometry class? How many people do you allow in? Before
Online?
Yeah, before you consider it full.
12.
Okay.
And it might also be 14 because the thing is not everybody comes on, so even if you allow 14 and you get 10 is, I can do, like, if we had 12 people online at a time, I can do that. So I've started letting in more because it really, like, if you let in 14, you probably only get like 8 or 10. So it's very doable.
Okay.
And I haven't picked any dates for the fall one. I've got the in-person. Oh, no, that's not true. You could do it through PCC. You could do it through Portland Community
I don't
College.
want to do it through the college. That's a whole way to sign up. Yeah,
and it's far less lucrative for me. So I just realized that as I was talking out loud, it's going to be through my website and I'll do it that way. That'll start, I'll probably, nobody wants to take a class in August. So that'll probably start up in September again.
So I am going to take you up on your offer to do whatever we need to do. Because there's something I'm supposed to know about it now. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not sure.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. But we're deciding our class, how big to do it with a class that we're getting ready to teach. And so I was curious about your number. So, okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. You're getting ready. Oh, you're going to teach. And so you were just curious what I do?
Yeah, because we're going to teach the Your Key, Your Door and the 10 Easy Keys parenting class online. And so I've got an instructor that's in Phoenix, actually not very far from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious how many, but when we did the parenting class, I was thinking, well, we could do, up to maybe even 30, but
yeah. I mean, you can see this is drawing. I want to go at people's paces. That really changes everything. So you don't want to go too big. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of tech you have, but if for my screen, I can only get 25 people on a screen. I don't have that full 50 capacity. So I would rarely go more than 24 people because I don't want to have to be bopping back from screens, you know, to see people. But that's just my thought.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I'm just curious. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a technical question.
Yeah. So I will leave it to you and your timing and your abilities to reach out and either send me some times to schedule for the crop circle, whatever you want to do, and go from there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. How many sessions is that normally, the crop circle one?
Crop circles, well, it was 8 sessions and we went for 13 last time because nobody wanted to stop. so you know, we can, if you want to do, let's just talk about it. We'll just, we can email and we'll work that out. But I had 2 friends also that wanted to take the course and I just had to cap it. And so they're coming over. We're going to do, you know, we'll do one in person, and it's everybody, everybody needs the access. So
that is an important piece that you're saying right now with the way I think we are moving through time. However it is that we're moving right now, I think anybody that's looking for the information, for example, when we start this class, the parenting class, which is 10 easy keys, it's 10 sessions. So when that class gets full, rather than wait another 10 weeks, if enough parents want to get on, or grandparents or teachers, we will start another class whenever we have enough quorum enough. We will go ahead and start it because it is so important. Right now, people are searching for the truth, or they're searching for it. So you can't let the calendar dictate. I mean, it's just, we're in such a time of advancement of civilization, or whatever we want to call it, that when there's enough, you know, you start another class. And if we so yeah,
I think you just given me that huge tip. So I had 3 other people and you would make 4, and then maybe some other people would come along, but I think I'm going to do that. What evenings, I could start with you, I'll take a little poll. What evenings would be best for you if we were to do a class, weekday evenings?
Yeah. Okay. So Monday we're here.
And you know what? Why don't you, we've only got 10 minutes. So why don't you think about that and then let me know, or if you know.
I think that's important. And you know what I think has happened, because it was confusing to me, because my energy field said, no, she made a promise that she was going to do something. And I know you're somebody that keeps your promises. And so I think what has happened is that the group that's already going is not the group I was supposed to be in.
Yeah. I trust that from the minute that the minute that you didn't get the information. Plus, you know, so
okay, so what I'm finding is a problem is, okay, so let me back this up. Okay, well, if you didn't have your circles line up exactly, when you start erasing, that's when where the chaotic, the chaotic side over here, it gets hard to start erasing because it doesn't exactly line up, because the circles aren't exactly right, you know. So with yours, there's a nice little line of basically of petals.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it's not precise, then you have a little trouble finding that line, which is fine.
Yep. That is the sacrifice of us letting that one side go, but you've got the gist. And I think at least 3 or 4 of the sides will look like that. And then the other 2 are probably a little wonky, but that's again, that demonstration of the hemispheres of the brain thing that I was talking about. There are likely 2 sides of your flower of life that align. So beautiful way to hang in there. Wonderful. And so how about, are you ready to show yours? How are you doing? Are you willing, I should say?
Okay, I'm missing one petal. You see?
Yeah. Okay. Wait. No. No.
This one. Is that supposed to be?
Yep.
So what
Yeah.
does that mean? My outer circle, I missed it. I wonder.
Can you
how
hold it
is
up a little
this?
higher? Okay. Okay. So what that, I believe what that means, you were not missing any circles. I imagine you just erased that one
Erased it?
and didn't somehow didn't register. That's, I mean, you had all of the circles, so that is kind of the only explanation. However,
Really? Wow, that's
you know
weird.
what? This is going to be a mystery. So the way you can do that, the way you can recreate that is number one. Here's the way. Here, I'll show you how. Let me come out of the spotlight. And then we'll look at it again, you know, thinking, oh my God, how awesome that is. So hang on. Okay, so this is just like straight up, I would say cheats, but this is also how you can make a full flower of life without doing all 4 rings, right? All you're gonna do is put your compass down, right? And I'm gonna demonstrate it because it's hard to say. And then just tap both sides of that petal, and then adjust your compass point so that it gets to touching both sides, and then adjust your compass point so that it gets to touching both sides, and that you're going to make an arc that matches the others, right? So your compass point will go just right outside of the ring, and then you just find it, right? And that's really, you know, you can kind of cheat your way to completion without doing all the rings. So how does that sound? Does that make sense? And you got that last one?
Wait,
Oh, you muted yourself.
what? Okay,
I don't.
is it 1 inch, or do I adjust?
It probably, you know what, I've never tried to measure it. I just play around. I put the compass point down. Although that, you're right, there's probably a measurement. No, you wouldn't change the width of the compass. The compass
No,
would
right.
stay the same. It's just, right, maybe it's an 1/8 of an inch away. I don't know, but once you get it, yeah, is it working?
It creates bigger, fatter petal.
It probably will not be just right. Yeah.
So maybe I have to back up a little bit.
Yeah, like play with where the compass point is, prioritize the arc matching, right? You do a little practice arc, and then that tells you, oh, I got to move the compass a little bit this way.
Okay.
In order, it's kind of like the phi, right? Where you shift the compass point. Yeah, perfect. All right. So once you've, now, if we wanted the real spiritual practice, if you wanted a real spiritual practice, you would leave that petal empty. Like be okay with it without seeing it complete. So here, I'll show you mine before, and then once you've got that, you can show us again. So this is my version of that. I just wanted to keep going. So what that is I drew the flower on the back of the gold thing, a gold piece of paper, and then I cut it out, and then it's put on a black background. Oh, sorry.
That's beautiful.
Right. So this is an example, right? If you know how we highlighted one circle and then one on top of it.
Wow.
I just kept going. I didn't want to stop.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's
beautiful. I love it. I did it for several years of just, I mean, I really just wanted to do art, and I let myself just do art.
Yeah.
So there's my version. I also have a fully expressed, like the full thing on plexiglass framed in my room, because it's everywhere. I love it. It's everywhere.
You have to bring that, or take your computer so you can turn it and show it to us or something.
I will next, from now on. Yeah. Maybe next class. Yeah. Next class I'll be out here, but then from then on I'll be in my room. So we'll do it there. That'll be pretty easy. Okay.
Carol and I were chatting just a little bit on the side. You probably saw that, but she's left.
Oh yeah.
Have you gone to the Grand Canyon? yourself?
I have, long time ago.
Okay. You guys live so close. I'd be going there all the time. Mention to Carol, if you talk to her,
Mhm.
to go sit behind the photographer's cabin. Go and sit between the photographer's cabin and the room, just right there beside, because you can kind of walk around. At least you used to be able to walk around the photographer's cabin.
Mhm.
Mention to her if she's going to go up there to go sit in that spot. There
Okay.
is something.
Okay. Now, before I said that I would check on that information in that class, didn't do it. I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not going to do that. I will
Well, if I
forget
put that in here,
I am
Carol-
gonna tell you, I will put everybody's email that you're
Okay.
reachable, and just go
Mhm.
ahead and email her. I'm gonna hand that one back to you.
Thank
And
you.
man, if I don't do big things, I'm just not gonna remember that.
Well, I would rather tell her, but we had never been given permission to like communicate with each
All the
other.
emails. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not I feel like we could assume that everybody be okay with emails. I don't want to assume.
But we don't
So
have.
are you okay if I group email it?
Yep.
Okay,
I am.
great.
And can you find out if the other ones can be included in that as well? Because I'd
Yeah.
like to be in touch with the others. They were
I
so cool.
I
Okay.
will do that.
That's awesome.
Let me just make a note. Sawa, can we see yours one more time, all complete?
Sorry.
No.
Okay. So,
Okay.
my light is, I think it's hard to.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, this one, I just made this one.
Yeah, looks pretty perfect. I never would have known.
You know, my point was where the arrow I draw.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's so funny. Like I knew that. Okay, this is.
Yeah.
I made that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to adjust a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Wonderful.
but
Yeah.
I totally agree with. I could have just left it.
Yeah.
You know. Yes.
Yeah, with its own. There's so many layers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. What I love is the smile, though. It's like this radiant, like, oh, look at what you did.
Yeah.
Look at how beautiful
Oh,
it is. Yeah,
I
I
can't
love it.
believe we can do this.
Yeah. Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nadia, you have done such a nice job and so much to just all the three of us just to be together tonight, and Carol too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been, just the three of us, just girls together, just kind of doing, it's been really nice.
It's so nice whenever, like, the configuration of whoever shows up is so great always, and kind of, magical and important. Terry, can we see yours one last time? I don't think I got a solid ending glimpse.
Let's see. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
some of the erasing didn't turn out exactly right. So, but that's because it's not, the drawing's not exactly. So hopefully I'll get a chance. I've been so enjoying just listening in the conversation that I kind of quit concentrating on this piece and just listen to the profound wisdom that's coming through the circle.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, nice pun. Oh, that's great. Well played. I think we'll end on that. And I will, I'll send, what I'll do is I'll send the Zoom recording so that you have it right away. And then because my uploading speed is terrible, it takes me a couple of days, and I will in between make sure that everybody's okay. Not confidentiality wise, but yeah, with sharing emails, and then you can go on and share about secret spots in the Grand Canyon. So
if you did a class, not online, but did a class in the area, or here's an idea for you. Call just a class for all your friends that are in that area that and have a class and go sit in, the Grand Canyon is a vortex, but there are several places in the Grand Canyon that are supreme. One is right behind the photographer's cabin. One is right there by the Hopi Museum. Maybe one or two others there. But if you sat and had permission to sit with your people and draw right there, that would be really incredible.
that would be amazing. That's a great thought. I love that. I will tuck that one away.
Okay.
let's do, yeah. So Terry, will you email the days? And I'm actually going to move towards doing a second crop circle course where all the people that couldn't make it into this
It'll
one.
probably be Tuesday. It could be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday is okay with me, but the people may not want to do it on a Friday night. So
Okay.
I'd
I'm
say
thinking Tuesday. All
Tuesday,
right.
Wednesday.
I will keep you posted. All
Yeah,
right.
as long as we do it pretty quickly, because okay, because we're starting our other class, but I think that doesn't start for a while. That's going to be on Tuesday. So yes, would be great.
Great. I'm going to move towards that. And
Okay.
thank you all so much. I'll be in touch. You'll get an email right away and then follow up with more detail. Thank you.
Perfect.
What a pleasure. All
Namaste.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.